some skeptics were convinced that captive-bred lions could never be released into the wild. Would the lions be able to fend for themselves? Would their social structures remain intact? Would they be able to successfully hunt? Follow this engaging African story of a few extraordinary people working with extraordinary lions. Known as Alert, this groundbreaking program has one mission: return Africa's lion population back to its former glory. Our story starts at Antelope Park, in one of Africa's finest wildlife destinations, Zimbabwe. Stretching over 3,000 acres of savanna bushveld, Antelope Park provides sufficient wilderness area for the African Lion and Environmental Research Trust, also known as ALERT. This exciting program is in the process of executing arguably one of the greatest breakthroughs in releasing captive-bred lions into the wild. A quick introduction to the stars of the program. Beginning with stage 1 of the ALERT program, meet one of the walking pairs, Paza and Pena. These 8-month-old female cubs are young enough to go on daily walks with tourists and volunteers, which help towards financing the program. Coupled with abounding energy and an insatiable appetite for fun, these cubs take curiosity to a new level. Over the next year, you will be amazed at their progress as they develop into fine huntresses. Moving on to another walking pair of cubs. Lewa and Laili are 1-year-old females with an amazing zest for life. Laili, the larger of the two, dominates with an air of pride and confidence, while Lewa plays the affectionate role. These two are inseparable, with play high on their list of things to do. Over time, you will witness them put away their childish ways as they taste the pleasure of the chase. With Laili having the brawn and Lewa the brains, these two have no problem looking after themselves in the bush. They are a constant irritation to the zebras of Antelope Park, and the impala's worst nightmare. Enter the 4 MKs, our 2 to 3-year-old encounter lions. The 3 females, Mara, Mika and Kylie, are led by the handsome male Moyo. Tourists and volunteers are able to accompany these lions on their walks, but only from the safety of a vehicle. Famous for joking around, this energized pride also has a serious side and cannot get enough of hunting. Over the course of the program, it's the females that display clever tactics, while Moyo has a lot to learn in the art of patience. Welcome the formidable seas. Another vehicle encounter pride. All over 3 years old, this tree-loving foursome is made up of 2 males, Chisa and Chundu, and 2 females, Chobi and Chete. Don't be deceived by their playful spirit, as you will witness they are inclined to take anything on offer. With a number of kills under their belts, prey species have to be on extra alert when the seas are in the neighborhood. And now, our pride and joy, the Ngamo Pride of 12. Released into the 400-acre Ngamo site over 2 years ago as a pride of 7, Milo, the magnificent male, and 6 females made this home and produced 5 cubs in this wild reserve. On the outside, Milo may seem docile and lazy, but he rules the pride with an iron fist. As a grumpy, greedy 10-year-old, everything is done on his terms. But he does have a soft side and tolerates his cubs to a certain point. 2 pairs of cubs are 2 months and 3 months old, while the pioneer female cub of the program, Wakanaka, was born over a year ago, being the firstborn in the wild from these Ngamo captive-bred parents. Wakanaka's performance in the release site is of great importance to the researchers of the project and the future of the Alert program. Join the amazing journey of a pride destined for greatness over the next year. Coming up in this action-packed episode, the MKs are on the hunt for something rather large. The 2-month-old Ngamo Pride cubs make a first-time appearance in the open after spending all this time in their den and thick vegetation. Our committed Antelope Park volunteers get their hands dirty to feed the daunting breeding lions. Meet the P's on one of their daily walk routines. Ray accompanies the L's as they encounter nervy hartebeest. The Game Capture Unit are tasked with supplying more zebra for the Ngamo release site. And don't miss the action as hungry Kwali zones in on an unsuspecting zebra. Can she hold on? All seems moderately quiet and peaceful at Antelope Park. But that is about to change as Nathan Webb is accompanying the MK lions on a walk. With names beginning with M and K, the MKs have been together for over 2 years and have become a great task force. Kylie is the key to this pride's success as her hunting instincts are second to none, with many kills under her belt, including wildebeest, zebra, kudu and impala. Moyo, the clumsy male, has all the great intentions in the world, but seems to lack forethought and strategy. Perhaps he'll get lucky today. Mika, perhaps a little reserved in the hunting department, frequently becomes distracted, but has speed on her side. Mara, the most calculating cat in this foursome, has the great skill of flanking and causing huge diversions and confusion. She is often responsible for setting Kylie up for the final takedown. These capture-bred encounter cats live in a management enclosure and get to hunt frequently during the day or night in the main wildlife reserve. It's outings like this that keep these lions fit and hone their hunting skills. Historically, in the wild, many lions have been killed by kicking giraffe. The MKs will have to be extremely careful and treat them with respect. The tall grass gives them the perfect cover, and Kylie makes the first move. Mika follows suit and gains on the giraffe.
Had Mika come around the corner of some trees. It was a great setup. The sun was behind us, good cover from the grass and the trees, and she took off after these giraffe. Got really close, but you saw she hesitated a bit. She got close, but close enough to jump, but didn't. I mean, it's a big animal for a lion to take down, even an experienced older lion. So a younger lion has always got that element of doubt, and she sort of just pulled up just at the end.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the reserve, Ray Kukesh, the project development and research manager, is making her daily rounds in the Ngamo release site. This pride was released into this 400-acre site over 2 years ago and have been closely monitored by the Alert research team. The initial pride of 7 has grown to 12, and something exciting is unfolding. One of the pairs of cubs have come out of hiding, and a whole new world has opened up for them. Mum, Ashanti, seems to be doing well, and even the mighty Milo is semi-tolerating the disruption.
They're very playful this morning. Obviously the cool weather's doing them some good, keeping everybody awake. It's strange, even though Shanti's got a little boy and a girl and the little boy's a bit larger, it looks like the little girl's more confident, giving him a good knockabout. Wakanaka's about a year old, and it looks like she's becoming less and less interested in playing. I mean, play's pretty infectious even with two little 2-month-old cubs, but looks like she's far more interested in playing the I'm a lioness role now, which is great to see because she's turning into an absolutely stunning one. She's still giving them a bit of a bat around though, I think.
1-year-old Wakanaka is the first cub born in this release site, and her development as a wild cub is coming on in leaps and bounds. Baby Anopa investigates the research vehicle.
Wow, this is a seriously confident cub. I'd expected them to come quite habituated to the vehicle, but I wasn't expecting them to be coming up to 3 meters away from the vehicle. It's the little girl again as well. It's good that they're relaxed, but I don't want them becoming too used to vehicles at the same time. It's getting that balance. But at least we can get some good observations in, I guess. It was weird, Wakanaka was always quite scared of the vehicle, and she still is. Good to see they're happy and they're confident and they're healthy to exert this much play behaviour. This is what we want to see. This is exactly what we see in wild prides and in creches in the wild.
Anopa's aunt Nala makes it quite clear that she is not Anopa's mum.
With suckling, it seems to be more parasitic rather than a female allowing another pride member's cubs to suckle her. It seems to be more when she's asleep, another cub will just sneak in, catch a quick meal while she's asleep, and then go back to her own mother. While she's awake, she should be a lot more reluctant and to push that other cub away, especially when there's older cubs. There's only a month's difference between the Shantis and Kenges, so there's not much competition. And now Wakanaka's a year old, so she's certainly no competition. She's almost fully weaned now. Shanti's been suckling them just as much as her own, which I wouldn't really expect. But she's been more reluctant, which is good, spending more time suckling her own. But they're very vocal this morning. Looks like she's getting quite irritated by them.
Much to Ashanti's relief, her cubs have been momentarily distracted.
Good example of strengthening some muscles, some neuromuscular development climbing trees, some locomotory play.
The MKs have also been distracted by a tree climbing opportunity. These lions will often climb trees to comb the area. With such tall grass, a commanding view like this will often lead them to prey species, but it does come with consequences. Nothing to show for their efforts, the MKs head back to their enclosures for rest. The Antelope Park elephants are also roaming around the reserve and enter their favourite river for a refreshing swim. Time to meet some of the hard-working lion volunteers.
Today we're going to do a lion feed, and we have 4 volunteers here to help us. We're going to put the lions in a management enclosure and go inside, get some meat and put it down the bottom for the lions to eat.
I'm from the UK and I'm here just to do my bit, try and help a little bit in the conservation of lions.
My name is Sophie, I'm from Sweden. I'm doing this because I want to help the lions.
So we're going to feed them now.
We want to put it all together in a tight pile.
Volunteers are invited from all parts of the world to contribute to this programme. It may look like a messy job, but they cheerfully tackle all tasks with passion and find it hugely fulfilling too.
Oh, I can't do it. That's disgusting.
The meat and offal is placed in one pile for a good reason: to determine the dominant male in the breeding groups. The dominant lion will generally be picked for good breeding options in the future. Scenes like this are rare and give tourists and volunteers a healthy respect of what lions are capable of.
That was wicked.
Totally worth the dirty fingers.
So chew it down, keep those that way, and then they regurgitate. Not regurgitate.
Ray Kukesh is on one of her routine observational checks in the Ngamo release site, and it looks like the coolish weather has got some of the lions on the move.
Quite surprised. It looks as though we've got a bit of a hunt starting up. We've followed Kingi to waterhole 2, and she's now flanked left behind the waterhole into the longer grass, leaving Kwali, her sister, in this thicket. There's a herd of impala up ahead, plus a herd of, I think, over 20. It looks like I haven't got the best visual. And Kwali's maybe 60 metres away, but there's a 30-metre gap, open gap. So I don't know if Kenge's thinking maybe he's flanking round. If she can push them towards Kwali, she can finish them off. And it looks like Kwali can't quite make up her mind. She's up and down, but I think if we just sit and hold fire, we might see something, hopefully. Kwali is an amazing huntress. I love watching her stalk. To be fair, she is rarely by herself, often hunts in a group, but when she is by herself, she goes for it. She is extremely stealthy. She always very tactical. She's you can see when she's thinking out, she's up and down here. You can see she's trying to figure out the best direction. She's thinking about the wind direction. She's thinking about this 30-metre gap. And they haven't heard her. She's pulled right into the vegetation here, close to the ground. It looks like some of the herd members have spotted her. I'm not too sure where Kenge has disappeared to. It's been a while since I saw her disappear into the grass. There's a few impalas alert to Kwali. The male loses interest if she stays still. It's kind of out of desperation, I think, because it's been nearly a week since she's had a good feed herself.
Genge and Kwali have missed out on a good opportunity. But to be fair, daytime kills are extremely difficult. The lions will have to be patient and wait for nightfall to have a significant advantage. Let's join one of the MK's routine walking encounters. It's early evening, and their excitement and playfulness seems contagious. The healthy social structure of this pride is a great advantage, and their ability to work as a team is getting stronger with each encounter. It's been a while since they took down something to eat, and Nathan is optimistic about the prospects this evening.
So we've left the vehicle, we're travelling on foot now. The benefit of that now is we're going to eliminate the sound of the vehicle. And often again pick up on the vehicle before they actually see the lions. It sort of gives them away. Well, the sun's setting and it's quite an overcast evening, so this is really the optimum time now. You can see the light is fading quite quickly. This is really when the lions start kicking in and their time starts taking over. They hunt at night, predominantly nocturnal animals, and that's when they get most of their success. Lions' eyesight is said to be 6 times better than humans, which really gives them an advantage at this sort of time of day and later on, going into the evening.
Kylie and Mara, the best huntresses, have paired off, and it's Mara that first notices the wildebeest. In typical fashion, Mara flanks off at a strategic angle, while Kylie chooses the direct line. Mika and Moyo, the male, have also noticed the herd and move into positions. Historically, Moyo often gives the game away by being over-enthusiastic, but he seems to be controlling his urge this evening. Many calves are on offer, making the adults even more alert. No luck for the MKs, but perhaps they'll learn from this hunt. Another early morning at Antelope Park comes alive with Milo at his best. Time to accompany Paza and Peña on their daily morning walk. At 8 months old, life is still a barrel of laughs for them. Walks like this are key in their social development as they take in all the sights, sounds and smells. They haven't displayed much interest in prey species up until this stage, but that will soon change in a few months. For now, let cubs be cubs. Over to the 1-year-old owl lions, Lewa and Laili, where Ray has a mission for the morning.
Nice. We've got Lewa and Laili coming on a walk with us today. But once a month I come on a walk with these guys and I do spore measurement, where basically we take them out into the bush as normal, and if luck would have it they walk through certain strata. We stop and measure the size of the pads, the straddle and stride. And the point of this is we're hoping to be able to correlate age and gender with the size of spore. And then when we can use this model out in the wild, so we find some paw prints of a certain size, and we can say this is a male of this age, this is a female of this age. So I'm doing it on these guys today. I'll be doing it on the peas maybe later today, and then some of the older lions in at the breeding program.
Laili and Lewa are now at an age where anything that moves looks edible. And it's not long until they are distracted by hartebeest. It's not long before suitable ground gives them the ideal opportunity to measure spore, and Ray manages to record the data. Let's take you behind the glamorous scenes to where our cheerful volunteers prepare the tasty tidbits. You always get the doers, and the people that take great delight in watching the doers.
Just don't pop my hand, okay?
These pieces of beef are destined for the owl lions. The perfect balance of vitamins and minerals are impregnated into the cuts to ensure the lions maintain top nutrition. This is such an exciting time for the lions, and Laili, being bigger and more dominant, always has first choice. The MKs haven't got it so lucky, as they haven't eaten for 4 days. Nathan and Ephraim have joined them on a walk, with the hopes of a kill. After about a 10-kilometre walk, luck is on their side, and all senses go on full alert. It's also important that the handlers and cameramen keep out of sight and act as though they are Pride members too. Everyone is hoping Moyo contains himself, as he often prematurely gives chase. So far, so good. Nope, I spoke too soon. He blows it again, and the females have no chance of getting into proper flanking positions. "10 out of 10 for intent, 2 out of 10 for patience." While the MKs regroup, we go over to the Ngamo Pride to find little male Amadi having a Lion King moment with his dad. Anopa is also looking for any takers to give her a little affection. Distant roars from the breeding lines 5 kilometers away have got Milo responding, and the vibrations from his deep roars can be felt by all in the vicinity, and he is soon accompanied by fire. Fire seems to be initiating some flirting, but it doesn't lead to much, as they go off in search of prey. The MKs are still out and about, and it seems like this cool, wet weather has energized their spirits. A short storm has forced Nathan and Ephraim to continue in the cruiser, while the cats are still on the lookout for a meal. A blessbuck is spotted in the distance, and Mara acts immediately. Even with the fading light, the blessbuck has the lion's visual, and it's not long before Moyo does what he does best: a premature chase. There's no chance, as a blessbuck can reach speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. The MKs will have to go hungry tonight and hope for a better result in the next few days. Roughly every 4 months, the Ngamo release site needs stocking up of prey species. In particular, they are short of zebra this month, and we join the game capture unit as they prepare for tomorrow. A drop boma is erected before sunset, and all is set in place for the morning.
This method is called a drop boma, where we pick a site where the animals are feeding or drinking water. We've got a 40-meter diameter circle boma that we erect, and it's suspended on poles. And then just a simple trip mechanism. The animals have got to get used to going underneath the barrier, psychological barrier. They've got to go underneath to their habitual feed point. They're used to feeding here at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we just keep with the same pattern. We would prefer not to, but if we happen to catch 2 species together, in that area, we wouldn't expect too much of a problem because it's a big enough area they'd probably satellite each other. But the minute you get them into a smaller area, there will be conflict. And wildebeest hooking zebra, zebra kicking wildebeest. So we would try and split them in that big area if we can. Otherwise we'd have, the truck's got compartments, and we'd try and split them as they ran into the truck. If you don't get it right, then it can be a bit of a disaster. In this case, they're already a little bit sensitive, seeing this new structure. Once it trips, we've got a cable, so it's on a lever system, which just loosens the bottom cable, and then it loosens it all around, it's weighted, and then it falls down to the ground with gravity.
Back at the Ngama release site, all 4 cubs are out in the open, and Ray makes a concerning observation.
I'm starting to get a little bit concerned regarding Ashanti's weight. It's perfectly natural for a lioness suckling any cubs to lose weight quite rapidly, especially those with litters of 3 or 4 plus. Ashanti only has a litter of 2, the 2 youngest here, 2 months old, and then the Kenge has the 2 oldest at 3 months. But what I'm seeing nearly every day now is Ashanti suckling all 4 cubs. It's common for cubs to suckle other mothers within a creche, but what you normally see is that mother will be not so much allowing, she'll just be asleep, so the cubs will sneak in for a quick meal. When awake, she'll rebuff the other cubs. She's not doing this with all the Kenge's cubs, she's allowing, we're seeing all 4 cubs suckling her simultaneously, whereas Kenge is not allowing Ashanti's cubs at all to suckle, I've only seen once or twice, and only every now and again letting her own suckle. And as a result, Kenge has lost weight since last feeding, but not so much as Ashanti. So I'm really hoping they're going to make a kill soon. Having said that, every time I get concerned about any of these guys, they prove me wrong. And Ashanti was out hunting yesterday and came very close. She's obviously still got plenty of energy, so not too overly concerned, but it's definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on over the next few days.
The following morning brings good news at the capture site.
There's 2 young female youngsters. There's the mum and then a little one. So it's a family group.
Obviously sometimes we've got to be careful, the zebra can kick, so we've got to stay out of their way and just go in there carefully.
The capture unit jump into action, and the slick operation takes shape in no time at all. At Antelope Park, it's decision time for Ray.
With Ashanti's weight, one option, and something we may do in the next few days if they don't make a successful kill or a decent sized kill, is do a scavenge feed. This is where we will drop a carcass unbeknown to the pride at a random location in the release site. And it's up to the pride to basically locate it and utilise it. The aspect of this is to make sure that they're utilising the whole area of the release site, and that when they find a carcass they know how to utilise it. In the wild, there are lions that 80% of what they feed is from scavengers. People seem to presume, the hyenas are the scavengers of the bush. It's not the case. Lions do and often scavenge in the wild, and when these guys go into stage 3, the 10,000 plus acres, it's important that they know they need to expand their territory in their home range and take advantage of scavengers, whether it be scavengers from a hyena or just a dead animal that they've come across. And yeah, obviously the other advantage of this is boosting Ashanti's weight. I mean, if she continues, if she weren't to feed, she could stop lactating, which would have obviously serious consequences for the cubs. But we'll see how we go. And we'll try and do it maybe once a month, scavenge feed, depending on how much they've fed and this, that and the other. But we've had times when we've put it in and they've not even found it, or the vultures have got to it first, so there's not much left, or not all pride members have fed, so it's not as if we're making it easy for them. It's just another important factor in this whole rewilding situation.
We're at our Ngama stage to release site at the moment, and our game has just arrived. We have 10 zebra in here. So we have 2 zebras at the back. As you can hear, they're quite frisky and they're kicking at the sides of the truck. Obviously, they're a bit more stressed than the rest of the zebra inside here. The plan now is to get the 2 males out, obviously because they are going to hurt themselves. They are kicking at steel, so it is going to hurt their legs. We're going to reverse the truck up here, build a ramp, and then release the 2 males out and keep the other zebras in here until tomorrow morning. Obviously, it is getting a bit darker now. We have got Ray, our researcher, with the lions at the moment, watching them to make sure they don't come here. But it is going to get more trickier once it gets darker, so we'll leave it until tomorrow morning to release the rest. But we will do the 2 stallions now.
With light fading fast, it's vital that the team act quickly. All the noise is bound to arouse the Ngama pride, and that would be a potential disaster while the gates are open. As predicted, the lions have heard the commotion at the gate 3 kilometers away, and Ray keeps a careful eye on the pride's movements. It's evident that the new aromas and interesting sounds have aroused the lions even more, and Ray gives the alert on the radio.
They've seen the lights, they're still slow paced, but they're heading towards you.
It's now or never. The 2 stallions are out and everyone is safe. At nightfall, the Ngama pride are still intrigued with the latest arrivals and continue to explore their surrounds. It looks like they're onto something, and Kwali erupts into a high-speed chase with a zebra as our camera crew become a little animated, to say the least. Does Kwali manage to hang on to her long-awaited prize? Find out in the next episode. Milo plays tug-of-war with little Amadi. Laili and Lewa go on an outing that leads to something out of the ordinary. The Ngama Pride Creche is a continual source of amusement. Fire has to be darted to keep the balance in the pride healthy. Hazza shows off highly possessive nature with a tortoise. And Milo demonstrates why he wears the pants around here.